Hello children, how are you? Hope good. This is Shahab Khan and I'm back with my new video on my YouTube channel Urban Learning Way ULV. We have finished studying scene 1 of Act 1 and in this scene we got a glimpse of what Rome was during the times of Julius Caesar as depicted by Shakespeare. This scene 1, set the tone for things to come. In this scene the importance of common citizens have been highlighted. The haters of Julius Caesar, how they think and behave, that has also been depicted. And this scene basically gives us an idea as to what lies ahead. Today I'm going to start scene 2 of Act 1, which is one of the longest scenes in the play. This scene tries to give the viewpoints of the conspirators as to why they hated Caesar. See, Caesar was no ordinary personality. He was no ordinary person. A person who was able to dismantle an existing ruling system. And what was the ruling system? A democratic form of government. Caesar was able to remove that system and take the power in his own hands. Full power in his own single hands. He must be having some great traits. Whatever traits he may be having, they would be like either positive or negative. They would be very strong, very intense. Sort of. And you have to remember, not remember, but keep this at the back of mind that Shakespeare, may have made some additions and deletions, some omissions and commissions here and there to suit the needs of his audience. Okay, he wrote this play for his audience only. To make your drama hit, you have to make a connection with the audience, and Shakespeare knew what to do to make a connection with the audience. He knew how to make things hit with the audience. So there's some weakness and flaws in character of Caesar has been highlighted, has been depicted in the play. Okay, these weaknesses and flaws were used by the conspirators to fuel the fire of rebellion, which led to the plot of assassination. These weaknesses and flaws were used by the conspirators to justify to themselves and to others that what they were doing was right. Okay, so let's start the text now. Scene 2, Rome, a public place. Enter in procession, Caesar, Antony, ready for the course. Calpurnia, Portia, Decius, Cicero, Brutus, Cassius, and Casca, followed by a crowd of citizens and a soothsayer. Caesar, Calpurnia, Casca, peace ho, Caesar speaks. Caesar, Calpurnia, Calpurnia, here my lord. Caesar, stand you directly in Antonius' way when he doth run his course. Antony, Caesar, my lord. Caesar, forget not in your speed, Antonius, to touch Calpurnia, for our elders say the barren touched in this holy chase shake of their sterile curse. Antony, I shall remember when Caesar said, do this, it is performed. Caesar, set on and leave no ceremony out. Music. The scene opens at a public square in a street in Rome and enter Caesar along with Antony, Calpurnia, Brutus, Cassius, Cicero, Portia, and some others. Okay. They are there to celebrate Caesar's victory as well as to take part in the traditional festivities of Lupercal. And they are followed in a procession by a crowd of common citizens, and which includes a soothsayer, and music is also playing. Okay. Caesar calls out to Calpurnia, and Casca asks the people to be quiet as Caesar was speaking, and music also stops playing. Calpurnia replies that yes, she was there. Caesar tells Calpurnia to stand in the course path where Antony was supposed to take the traditional run of the feast of Lupercal. He also tells Antony not to forget to touch Calpurnia while he was running the race. He says that elders say that if an infertile woman was touched during the course of the run of the feast of Lupercal, she would be cured of her infertility. See, Caesar had married thrice and had a daughter named Julia with his first wife Cornelia. Calpurnia was his third wife, and she had no child. Okay, there was this Roman superstition belief that infertile woman, if touched by a runner of the feast of Lupercal during his course of the run, would cure the woman of her infertility. This was the Roman superstition, Roman belief. Okay, so the theme of superstition has been introduced here, which I'll deal with in a later video, in another video. The theme of superstition has been introduced here. Okay, theme of superstition has been, and why this theme of superstition? This theme of superstition because the audience for which Caesar wrote the play was a superstitious kind of people. The audience for which Caesar wrote the play was a This kind of a audience only which believed in superstitions, omens, uh, extra supernatural things. Okay, so that kind of audience he was. So he had to introduce these things. He had to make sure that these things were a part of his play. Otherwise, he won't be able to make a connect with the audience. Antony says he will not forget to touch Calpurnia during his race, because whatever Caesar wished, it was his duty to fulfill his wish. It was like a command to him. So he would not forget to touch Calpurnia during the race. And the uh, Antony Caesar asks Antony to go out and perform the ceremonies. Soothsayer, Caesar, ha who calls. Casca, bid every noise be still peace yet again. Caesar, who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a tongue shriller than all the music. Cry Caesar. Speak, Caesar is turned to hear. Soothsayer, beware the Ides of March. Caesar, what man is that? Brutus, a soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March. Caesar, set him before me, let me see his face. Cassius, fellow, come from the throng, look upon Caesar. Caesar, what sayest thou to me? Speak now, speak once again. Soothsayer, beware the Ides of March. Caesar, he is a dreamer, let us leave him pass. A person who was a soothsayer calls out from the crowd, and calls out Caesar from the crowd, and Casca asks the people to be quiet, and music also stops. Soothsayers, they were persons who claim to predict the future. Today we call them astrologers, and going by the method that they may use, we may also call them numerologists or tarot card readers. So this soothsayer had a very sharp and shrill voice, and Caesar calls out that he heard a voice that was shriller than the music. And he says that the person who was calling him out should speak because he was listening. And the soothsayer says, beware the Ides of March. This is one of the most popular phrases in English language. Now first understand the Ides. Okay, the ancient Romans, they used a lunar calendar, a calendar that was based on the movement of moon, and in this calendar the Ides corresponded to the full moon day. And in the month of March it was supposed to fall on the 15th. In other months it fell on 13th or 14th also, but in the month of March it was supposed to fall on the 15th of March. So the soothsayer was warning Julius Caesar because he felt that there was a danger to him on this day. It was going to be a difficult day for him. He was a well-wisher. And that is why he wanted Julius Caesar to take precautions on the 15th of March, on the Ides of March. Now this is one of the more popular phrases in English language, and it's used today also. Like if you have to warn someone of an impending danger, even today we would say, beware the Ides of March. You can understand why it is being used even today, because as you can see how appropriately and at what perfect time this phrase has been used in the play, and that is why it has gained so much of importance. We know Caesar died on the 15th of March 44 BC. Caesar asks who was saying that, and Brutus replied that was a soothsayer who was warning him to beware the Ides of March. Caesar orders him to be brought before him. He wanted to see him. Cassius asked the person to come out from the crowd and stand before Caesar. The soothsayer, comes out from the crowd and stands before Caesar. Caesar asks him again what was he saying, and he replies, beware the Ides of March. Caesar dismisses him outrightly. He does not bother to ask him why, what was his basis like. Pure show of arrogance here. A show of arrogance, a display of arrogance by Caesar. He dismisses him and says that he was a dreamer, a man not in his senses, a crazy person, and there was no need to pay attention to him, and people should continue doing what they were doing. Trumpets sound exeunt all except Brutus and Cassius. Cassius, will you go see the order of the course? Brutus, not I. Cassius, I pray you do. Brutus, I am not gamesome. I do lack some part of that quick spirit that is Antony. Let me not hinder Cassius your desires, I'll leave you. Now everyone exits the stage. That means they leave that place, and Brutus and Cassius are the only ones left. Cassius asks Brutus whether he was going to see the race, and Brutus replies in the negative. Cassius says that requests him to watch the race, and Brutus says that he was in no mood to celebrate. Brutus says that he was not in a state of mind, or rather, he was in a state of mind where he would not be able to enjoy any kind of festivities. He also acknowledges that he was not as a lively, sporty person that Antony was. He lacked the enthusiasm and lively spirit of Antony. He was not a fun-loving person as Antony was. Brutus says that these should not stop or hinder Cassius from enjoying. He was in that kind of a mood. It did not mean that Cassius also had to bear with him. He could go and out. He should rather go out and enjoy the festivities of Lupercal. This marks the beginning of a very important conversation dialogue between Cassius and Brutus, the two most important men in the play. This reveals their characters and motives. The two most important men in the play who are at the center of the conspiracy. We'll continue with this in the next video. That's it, children, for today. I hope you have understood the things well. If you have any doubts, you can post it in the comment section. Keep watching, keep liking, keep subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching the video.